Okay, so this is P2, P2 of Meiju, and we have this over here, the formula sheet. Again, I'm telling you people, look at the formula sheet clearly. कौन से formulas given है, कौन से नहीं है given, you should have a good idea of that. Then, okay, moving on. The first one, question number 1. They are saying the diagram shows a pattern of a part of a pattern with rotation symmetry of order 4. Order 4 rotation symmetry, that means whenever they give you the order of rotation symmetry, you just divide it by 360 and you figure out that this is the angle after every 90 degrees. This shape, the rotated shape, is going to match. Okay, it's not sharing. Thank you, sir. So, whenever the order of rotation symmetry is given, just divide it by 360 because one full rotation is of 360 degrees, right? So this will tell you after how many degrees the rotated shape is going to match your original shape. So this is the original shape. Okay, if this is the original shape, then after 90 degrees, every 90 degrees, the rotated shape is going to match your original shape. Okay, so if I rotate to 90 degrees, it should be matching the original shape. It should match the original shape because उन्होंने आपको mention कर दिया the order of rotation symmetry is 90 degrees. So first of all, let's mark them. You can do it with tracing paper, and you can do it directly like this. You mark the rows and you number the shaded box. Okay. So I will see that in row 1, we have the second box shaded. In row 2, we have the sixth box shaded. And then there are no boxes shaded in row 3, row 4, row 5. So we are going to just deal with row 6. Row 6, the fifth box is shaded. Now, even when I rotate the paper, these boxes should be shaded. इनमें से अगर कोई भी shaded नहीं होगा, if there is a box which is not shaded amongst these, we have to shade them. Okay. So I'm going to rotate the paper 90 degrees like this, and let's see. Let's mark it. Row 1, the top one, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, and row 6. So I can see that in the first row, the second box is not shaded, so let's shade it. In the second row, the sixth one is shaded, that's fine. In the fifth row, we are not concerned with that. Row 6, the fifth should be shaded, so that's it. And you just have to shade one more box, so that's it. After 180 degrees, again you see, it's the same thing. Row 1, second is shaded. Row 2, we have the sixth shaded. Row 5, row 6, we have the fifth shaded, right? So that's fine. That's your box to be shaded. So I'm going to shade the box in row 5, the first one. For you people, when you shade it, once it's 90 degrees rotated, your image will be, when you bring your paper back, it will be looking like this. Now, question number 2. And whenever you have a question related to any particular topic, you can ask me there and then. Question number 2, A part. Write 18,012 in figures. Okay. So 18,012 figures. Then write down a prime number between 20 and 30. So we have 23 as a prime number. Okay. Find the reciprocal of 1 by 9. the reciprocal, the numerator becomes the denominator and denominator numerator. So it's 9 by 1, right? You can just write 9. Question number 3, write this much ratio, 175 milliliters, ratio 2.5 liters in the simplest form. So if I want to look at the simplest form, I have to convert both the units to the smallest unit. Okay. Out of both these units, the smallest unit is milliliters. So I'm going to convert this liter into milliliters. When I convert it, 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. So we have 175 milliliter ratio 2500. Now we can compare, take a ratio of this, right? So that will be, because you have the access to calculator and I can see both will be divisible by 25. Let's see, let's look at that. 175 divided by 25 is 7. And this will be 100. So 7 ratio 100. Okay. Next. And because they have written simplest form, the only acceptable answer is this. Not this, which is acceptable name. You will get 1 mark for the working, but if you don't write it, you won't get a mark for that. The simplest form. Dan, Erica, and Fateh shares $540 in the ratio of 4:5:3. Find the amount Erica received. So for this one, just name them first. Dan, Erica, and Fateh. So DEF. The ratio will be 4, 5, and 3. I can figure out the total ratio. Total ratio should be 12. Adding all these ratios, we have 12. And they are saying that all 3 of them shares $540. So if I talk about amounts, we don't know about Dan, we don't know about Erica, we don't know about Fateh, but we know about the total amount being shared. That is 540. So whenever you have one piece of information, you can work around it to figure out the other missing, right? So over here, I can make proportions out of it. 12 parts or 12 ratio are representing $540. Then, which one are they concerned about? Erica. Then 5 will represent how much? So you just cross multiply it and figure out the answer. So x is equal to 5 times 540 divided by 12. Okay. So you have the access to your calculator. You can use that. It should be 225. Question number 4. Find the value of x and the value of y. The value of x and the value of y. Now, for this one, I can see this can be easily figured out. Why? Again, I'm just writing that. So I do usually write some of the things just for your revision sake. The angles we have studied for transversal, this is a transversal line. A transversal is a line which cross another 2 lines, right? It can be parallel, it can be non-parallel. But over here, we are dealing with parallel lines. So for that, we have X-shape angle. Okay, the X-shape angle are called vertically opposite angles. So you have to write this, not X shape. X shape, they are literally in X shape over here. So this angle is equal to this, and the other two are also equal. Vertically opposite. Then we have angles in the shape of a Z like this. It can be this Z, right? It can be an extended Z. So you have to look for such kind. Then in a Z shape, these two angles are equal. We call them alternate angles. So if they ask you for a reason, this is the name you have to write. Then we have an F shape angle. It can be a slightly slanted F, okay, inverted F. So you have to look for the shape. These two angles are called corresponding angles. And all these angles are equal. All these angles are equal. Except this one. This is in a C shape, like this, like a box. And this can also be a bit slanted. So you have to look for such kind of, and they are made between parallel lines. This is called supplementary angle. C shape, supplementary. And they add up to 180 degrees. So I can literally see a C shape over here, like this. So that means they are supplementary. They add up to 180 degrees. So for X, that should be 180 minus 128. That should be 52 degrees. Okay. This is 52 degrees. Then we can see that all the three lines are parallel. This, and this. So just considering these two lines parallel, these two lines are parallel, and then this line can be considered as a transversal, this one. So we have, as you can see, like a Z shape, right? So you have to identify this. That means if this angle is 52, that makes this 52. Again, we are dealing with two parallel lines, okay? So they haven't asked for any reasons. That's why I'm not giving any reasons. These two are parallel, and this can be a transversal. So you can see it's like a C shape. So they are also supplementary angles, okay? Like this. So y will be 180 minus 52. That will be 128. Supplementary. Next one. Convert 6.1 meter square to centimeter square. I have mentioned before, and I'm going to tell again. This is the scale for length. This is the scale for length. If you remember this for length, okay, because kilometer, meter, centimeter, millimeter, all these are lengths. I can easily figure out the scale for area, which is in squared form, kilometer square, meter square, centimeter square, and millimeter square. Okay, they are in squared form. Now, in order to convert the scale for length into scale for area, I just have to square the units. So they were 10 power 3, it was 10 power 3, 3 zeros. This becomes 10 power 6, like 1 million. Okay, so that means 1 million meters square will be equivalent to 1 kilometer, like this. Okay? And this should be 10 power 2, 10 power 4. So square it. This will be 10. So this becomes 10 square. So I have to convert the meter square to centimeter square. That means I have to move in this direction from smaller to bigger. So I'm going to multiply it with that 10 power 4. Okay. So that means 6.1 times 10 power 4, or you can write it as 10,000, will be equivalent to 61,000. That's how you convert it. Next, question number 6. In a survey, students are asked to choose their favorite type of a movie. The table shows the results. Type of a movie. So we have 4 genres over here: romance, thriller, science fiction, and other. Right? Calculate the relative frequency of a student choosing thriller. So we don't have any information for thriller, but we know that the total of all the relative frequency, it's like the same as a probability. They will be equivalent to 1. So the total will be equivalent to 1. So frequency for thriller, relative frequency, that would be 1 minus 0.1 plus 0.35. Add all the others and subtract it from 1. So we have 0.1, 0.35, 0.3, this should be 0.25. Okay. Next, we have Chris. 500 students take part in a survey. Calculate the number of students who choose science fiction. So whenever you have to figure out the number of, you relate it to probability. It's the same thing. Right? Relative frequency and probability. For probability, we figure out number of favorable outcomes over total. Okay. And for relative frequency, we do the same. The favorable frequency or the favorable outcome in terms of frequency over the total. So whenever the relative frequency is given and they ask you about the number of things, number of students, they're not talking about relative frequency. They want the number of students, right? You just multiply it with the relative frequency. So for number of students of science fiction, that will be, what is the relative frequency? 0.35 times 500. So you can see, we just rearranged it. Okay? We want to figure out the favorable outcomes. So we just multiplied that with the 2. So this should be, use your calculators, so P2, so 175. Chris wants to exchange this much for euros at a bank. The bank only gives euros in multiples of 5. Multiples of 5. So underline it. If you underline the important information, you can always focus on that. The exchange rate is $1 to 0.92. So calculate the number of euros he received and his change from $350. For this, we have to see the exchange rate given is $1 to 0.92 euros. $1 to 0.92. Okay, are you people attempting the questions? Maheen, Hiba?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Are you people done with this?
No.
No? आप लोगों की स्पीड तो ज्यादा नहीं होनी चाहिए थी, है ना? Okay. So $1 is equal to 0.92 euros. Now, if I convert the 350, calculate the number of euro he receives and has changed from $350. So $350. The euros he is receiving, again proportion, so x is equal to, you cross multiply that, so 350 times 0.92, do that, 0.92, that should be 320. 322 euros. This is the exchange he is getting. Okay. 322. Now, the bank is giving how much? The bank is giving in multiples of 5. So, what should be the nearest multiple of 5 to 322?
320.
320. Right? So, in euros, it is the nearest multiple is 320 euros. How much is left?
2 euros.
Left is 2 euros. Is that required as euros or in dollars?
Dollars.
Dollars. Okay. So this was the amount left because the bank is given in multiples of 5. So Chris received $320, 320 euros, and the amount left, which is 2 euros, that will be changed back into dollars. So the exchange rate is already given to you. $1 is equal to 0.90 euros. You can directly just figure that out, but I'm just doing it for you. So let's say this is y. This will be y is equal to 2 over 0.92. That is 2.17. So the change is 2.17. Is that clear? Abhishek, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Question number 8. Calculate the interior angle of a regular pentagon. Regular polygon, any regular polygon will have all sides equal, all angles equal. So I can figure out the interior because they are saying calculate the interior angle. I can figure out a single interior angle, which is called each interior angle, using the formula of a sum of interior angles divided by the total number of sides. So that will be n minus 2 times 180. This is the formula for sum of interior angles divided by the number of sides, which will give you each interior angle. So we have in an octagon, we have 8 sides. Remember the names till decagon, 10 side shape. Okay, this is in your syllabus. 10-sided shape. That's 6 into 180 divided by 8, 135. Very good. Okay. Question number 9. On the Venn diagram, shade the region represented by this. A intersection B1. A intersection B1. So they are saying to shade everything outside. Everything outside. Yeah. Yes. Everything outside.
Everything outside A and B.
The common region, isn't it? Shade everything outside the common region of A and B, right? Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, next, in a class, 22 students, 12 play piano, 9 play guitar, 6 do not play piano or guitar. So find the number of students who play both the piano and the guitar. You may use the Venn diagram to help you. Okay. So you may use a Venn diagram. So it's better to use a Venn diagram. Chances of error reduces. So they have drawn this for you. So we are talking about two things: piano and the guitar. So P and G. Always start from the common region. Start with the most common. Amar, where should I start from? Okay, Mahim, you tell me, where should I start from?
The ones that don't play the piano or the guitar.
The most common. Isn't this the region? The most common one?
Yes.
Who plays both? Is there any information given to us?
No.
So can I consider that to be X?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's fill out the information. 12 play piano. Now they are not saying piano only, they are saying 12 play piano. That means this over here is the whole set representing piano, right? So if they are 12, that means this portion only will be represented by
12 minus X.
good, 12 minus 6. So this is 12 minus X. And what about this portion? The whole guitar? 9 minus 6. Good. And are there any outside?
X.
Good. So work it out. Find the number of students who play both the piano and the guitar. So I'm going to add all these and put them equal to 22. The total is already given to you. So 12 minus 6 plus 6 plus 9 minus 6 plus 6 is equal to 22. Open the bracket, the 12, the x and x minus cancelled out. So we have 12. Okay, let me write it so that you don't get confused. If somebody is struggling with the basic reordering, you should fix your algebra before the paper. Before your P2, you have to work on your algebra. Okay, so this will be 27. So 27 minus x is equal to 22. So this should be minus x is equal to minus 27 plus 22. So we have x as 5. Okay, next, simplify this. Simplify this. 7x square y power 5 over x cube y square. We have to simplify it. So let me write it and then simplify it. 7x square y power 5 over x cube y square. So either you can use the laws of indices over there, or you can directly, because we have greater value in the denominator of x, so 1 is left, the 2 in the numerator cancels out. Okay, a greater value in the denominator, so the denominator in the numerator, so the denominator cancel out and 3 are left. So we have 7y cube over x. 7y cube over x. Zaya invests $4,500 in a saving account. The account pays simple interest at a rate of 3.2% per year. It's not compound interest, simple interest. Calculate the value of the investment at the end of 5 years. So always, whenever you are reading interest-related question, focus on the last statement we are saying. Value of investment at the end of 5 years. Are they talking about just the interest or the final amount in the bank? Are they just talking about the simple interest after 5 years or the final amount after?
A final amount.
Final amount. This can be confusing sometimes, okay? Sometimes they ask you just about the interest, sometimes they ask you about the final amount. So you have to deal with the question accordingly. So we have I is equal to PRT over 100. This will give you the interest over 5 years. And for the final amount, I have to add back this interest into the principal amount. Principal, the invested amount, the principal amount, the original amount, all they are referred to principal amount. Okay. So let's figure out P, principal amount, rate 3.2 times 5 over 100. So the interest over 5 years will be, it should be $720. $720. I have to add back this $720 into the principal amount. So we started with $4,500. So for the final amount in the bank, it should be $4,500. जिससे आपने start किया था 4,500 plus the interest over the 5 years. Okay, so this will be 5,220. That's our answer. Next, I shall invest $2,750 in a different saving account. This account pays compound interest at a rate of 2.1% per year. Calculate the total amount of interest. See, this is what they play with. Okay, just to confuse you with the wordings. Total amount of interest, not the final amount. Okay, now be careful with the simple interest and the compound interest. For the compound interest formula, this formula is going to give you the final amount. Okay, so we have to subtract the initial amount from that, okay, to figure out the interest. Let me mark this. This is going to give you the final value or the final amount. This is the initial amount or the initial value. This will be the rate, and this is the time period. Okay. So when I apply the formula, I am getting the final amount. The amount at the end of 5 years or 3 years in the account. Okay. So principal amount 2750, 1 plus rate, that is 2.1 over 100, whole power, number of years 3. So when we work this out, we have 2926.9. Okay. This is the final value, final amount at end of 3 years. To figure out just the total amount of interest, again, I'm going to use the same thing. Final amount is equal to principal plus interest. So to figure out the interest, I will say I can rearrange. I is equal to final amount minus principal. Final amount over here is 2926.9 minus the principal amount, that is 2750. What am I getting? 176.9. That's correct. Okay. Factorize this over here. So to factorize this, I have to figure out, let's group the like terms and in terms of x. So we can see X over here, then Y over here, and Y over here. Now let's take X is common, 7X. We are left with H minus, this will be 3F plus minus 2. Minus 2Y, we are left with negative 3F plus H. So whenever something happens like this, don't get worried. What happened? These two are the same thing. It's just the order is different. Okay, so I can write it. See over here, H minus 3F, and this over here, H is positive minus 3F. I can write it like this. So don't get worried about that. So this will be 7X minus 2Y and H minus 3. Next, a bag contains 9 red counters and 3 green counters. D takes 2 counters from the bag at random without replacement. So without replacement, the total is going to be affected. Total will change. Obviously, if they are not putting back one of the counter back, that color is also going to be affected and the total is also going to be affected. So it's better to make, this is a simple tree diagram, but you might face a tree diagram with variables, right? So always make a list to avoid or to minimize the errors. So we have red counters as 9, green as 3, the total will be 12. So the first taken out is a red, so I'm going to 9 by 12. This was the process. I'll make a list, and the second, this is the first step. The second step is update the list. So I'm going to use the same list, but update it. Now that one red counter is gone, I'm left with 8. Minus 1, I'm left with 8. And obviously, if a red counter is excluded, then the total is also affected. Okay. So total counters in the bag are now 11. So the second counter will be 8 by 11. And the second green counter will be 3 by 11. So is the case for the second branch. What if the first counter is a green? So that will be 3 by 12. Okay. And I have to update the list over here as well. This time a green counter is taken out. Okay. So in probability, we are dealing with chances. Okay. This or that. So green, 1 is taken out, 2. Obviously, the total is also affected. So 11. Now we have 9 red counters, 2 green, and total 11. So the second probability, the second counter, the probability of the second counter will be 9 by 11. The probability of the second counter to be green will be 2 by 11. Like this. Okay. Now work out the probability that both counters are red. Probability that we have red and red. The first is also red and the second is also red. So the first is also red. I'm just going to highlight it. The first is also red, this, and the second is also red. So when you are dealing with, just remember for probability, across the branches, along the branches, you multiply, across the branches, we add. Or in other words, dependent events, independent events, one is independent of the other one, will be multiplied, dependent events will be added. So these are independent, they will be multiplied. But if I look at these, for example, a green and a green, then these two are dependent on each other. Either it can be red and red or green and green. If they are saying find the probability of the same counters. Okay. So in this question, they are just talking about find the probability of the first being read and the second being read. So that will be 9 by 12 times 8 by 11. So they haven't asked us to simplify, so you can write it as it is as well, or you can just simplify it as well. So this will be 2 times, this will be 3 times, this will be 1, 3. So we have 6 over 11. Okay. When they put the condition over there to simplify, then you must. Okay. Otherwise, you can just multiply them and write the fraction as it is. Now, question number 14. PQRS is a cycloquadrilateral. Okay, they have mentioned over here. APB is a tangent to the circle at P. Angle SPB is 37. Okay, angle PSQ is 85. Okay. Find angle PQS, PQ and S. This angle over here. So they are concerned about this angle. Now, looking at this, they haven't asked us for any reason, but just to tell you about alternate segment theorem. Read about it, which हम लोगों ने notes में लिखा हुआ है. Still, if somebody is struggling with that, they can ask. Alternate segment theorem, it's angle between the tangent and the chord. You can see that is 36. Okay, this one. Angle between the tangent and the chord is the same as angle made from the same chord onto the circumference. So इसी chord say if I make an angle onto the circumference like this, then these two angles are equal. Which two angles? This over here and this over here. So that is also 37. Next, find angle QRS. Where is QRS? QRS, this over here. QRS. So we can easily figure out what this angle would be. I can figure out this angle. Because we have two angles in a triangle, I can just subtract it. 180 minus. This will give us QPS. 180 minus 37 minus 85. This will be 58. So this angle is 58. Now they have already mentioned that we are dealing with a cyclic quadrilateral. So that means this four-sided shape is a cyclic quadrilateral. All the points, all the vertices are touching the circle. That makes these two angles equivalent to 180. Okay. Sum of these two angles will be equivalent to 180. So 180 minus 58 is equal to QRS. 120. Next, question number 15. These are the first four patterns in a sequence made from black beads and from white beads. Black beads and white beads. And in a sequence, what we can do is we have to see what is being added. So 5 plus 2, we have 7. 7 plus 2, we have 9. 9 plus 2, we have 11. So that means 11 plus 2 will be 30. The same goes over here. We have to see what is happening in this. Right here, I can see that 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. 5 plus 6. Each time the difference is 1 added number, right? So 21 plus 7 should be 28. Now identify these numbers. What kind of a sequence are we dealing over here? Can somebody? Whenever there is a difference of just one extra number, you are always dealing with anyone? No? Triangular numbers. That is why, which I'm telling you, remember the basic square number sequence, cube number sequence, triangular number sequence, right? Triangular number, biggest hint is that each time the difference increases by 1. So 6, 10 plus 4, 10 and 15 plus 5, 15 and 21, the difference is of 6. So each time there is 1 added difference. Now, and I told you also to remember the nth term of the triangular number sequence. I'll just deal with over here. Find an expression for the number of white beads in pattern number n. Pattern number n, white beads. Number of white beads in pattern number n. That will be nth term of it. So pattern number n will be a plus n times n minus 1. Okay. So the first one is 5 plus n minus 1 times d. The common difference is of 2, positive 2. So we have 5 plus 2n minus 2. So the pattern number n will be, or the formula of this, these white beads will be 2n plus 3. The total number of beads in pattern n, total number of beads. So let me copy this. And what did I say? This sequence is matching which one? Yes, Eva? This sequence is somehow matching. कौन से का नाम लिया मैंने?
Triangular.
Triangular. Do you have your notes? Did you do sequences with me?
Sir, I'm solving it with the quadratic sequence.
Okay, you can solve it. Yes, you can always solve it using that as well. So I'm going to tell you, the first one is, if you can remember the sequence number, the triangular sequence, that is original, triangular sequence. And this, the first term starts with a 1. The second term is 3. See, each time we are adding 1 more. So 1 plus 2, that is 3. 3 plus 3, that will be 6. Third term is 6. Fourth term plus 4. So 10, like this. Fifth term, 15. Now, you can see that some of the numbers started matching. Which ones? These. These are matching with these. Right. So, the nth term of a triangular sequence, if you can remember it, you will save some time. That is Pn, the pattern number 1 by 2, n times n plus 1. If you can remember this, well and good, otherwise you have to calculate. Now you can see that we are starting by leaving 2 places. Okay, we left 2 places and started with the third one. So that means I am moving 2 places forward. Whenever you are moving some places forward, just add it to the number of 2n. So that will be, the pattern number for this will be 1 by 2. There was just n, so n plus 2. And in the next one, n plus 1 plus 2, n plus 3. That's your answer. 1 by 2, n plus 2, n plus 3. Or the other one, which Hiba was saying, that we can always use this formula, but you have to calculate them. थोड़ा सा उसमें effort चाहिए होगी. Or I can use this formula, Pn is equal to A plus n minus 1 times D plus C over 2 n minus 1 n minus 2. Okay. This, let me label it. This is the first value of the sequence. This is the first difference. Okay. First difference is this 6. And this C is the second common difference. So if you are stuck and you can't figure it out, you can always refer to this. But this will be applicable only if the second common difference is equal. So see, the difference between the difference, so 4 plus 5, 4 and 5, that is of 1. Between 5 and 6, that is of 1. This is the second common difference. The value of C, second common difference, that will be 1. And you just multiply them, add them, and you will end up with this result. Okay. C part. Bill has only 88 white beads, but lots of black beads. Okay. Pattern P is the largest possible pattern he can make using these beads. So work out the value of P. Now, they have given us a statement. Well, should I give you some time? आप लोगों ने किए ये? Yes? किसी ने attempt किए?
Sir, I did it.
Can you share your answer with me? On the post account? Okay, let me see. Almost there. Say almost there. Just have to make a slight change. Okay, Bill has 88 white beads. Okay. If 88 white beads and a lot of black beads, so I can see that white beads are limited. And black are unlimited. So if I use information for the white beads, black beads are a lot of them. We can make many more sequences from that, right? Many more terms from that, patterns from that. But for white beads, we can't make more patterns because they are limited over there. So I will be using the information for white beads. What is the nth term? What is the formula for white bead? The number of white beads in pattern N is 2n plus 3. So using the information for white beads, nth term of white beads, that will be Pn is equal to 2. Let's make the NP, right? Pattern number 2p plus 3. 2b plus 3. Now they are saying that we have 88 white beads. So 88 white beads is equal to 2p plus 3. Let's rearrange it. We have 2p is equal to 88 minus 3, that would be 85. So p is equal to 85 by 2, that should be 42.5. Now we obviously can't make 42.5 patterns. Eva, how many patterns can you make?
42.
42. Okay. If those who are saying no, we should round it up. Actually, when you don't have the half, how can you make the 43rd pattern. Okay, so in actual values, we always round it down. So there are 42 complete patterns which can be made. Okay, question 16. Work it out, which will get me. Okay, the population of Kenya is this much. The area of Kenya is this much. The population density is the number of people per kilometer square. So sometimes they give you the formula through a sentence. Population density is equivalent to the population over the area. This is what they just said. Population density is the number of people per kilometer square. So population divided by area. So they are saying calculate the population density of Kenya. So the population density of Kenya will be the population of Kenya, which is 5.71 into 10 raised to power 7 divided by 6 into 10 raised to power 5. So they haven't limited us to standard form. We are not required to give our answer as a standard form. I just have to divide them. So divide them and tell me the answer. Amar, so divide them and tell me the answer. Is it so? Eba, what is the answer?
Sir, 95.
So Amar, why are you getting that answer? कोई गलती की है? So the acceptable answer will be 95. Okay, it can be 95.1617. So 95 to 95.17. Or 95.2. Both are acceptable. Question number 17. F of x is this. When you substitute the value of minus 8 into the function f, you are getting, so wherever there is x, I'm just going to replace it with minus 8 and use brackets. So 18 by 3, we have 6. Next, g inverse of x. For the inverse of it, we have some steps. We replace this g of x with y. Then make the second step, make x the subject. Left hand side is equal to right hand side. I can switch the place. So x is equal to y minus 3 over 4. Now for the final step, I'm going to replace x with g inverse of x and y with x. These three steps. Question 18. 300 students take part in a competition. The table shows information about their scores. Score, frequency, calculate the estimate of the mean score. Estimate of the mean score. Telling you people from the start of the past paper session that whenever you are dealing with a statistic question and you have a range, right? Range form of values, like continuous data. This is called continuous data or range form of values. Okay, class intervals. And they ask ask you about the mean. When they ask you about the mean, you have to find the midpoint. Midpoint is upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. And if they ask you about histogram, then you're supposed to make a class width. So just understand this, that what to be used when. Histogram, class width. Class width is upper limit minus lower. So over here, they are asking about means. I'm going to use midpoint. Midpoint. And that will be considered as the value of x. So 30 plus 0 divided by 2, 15. 70 divided by 2, 35. This should be 50. This should be 65. And this should be 85. These are the midpoints. Next. Yes, Hiba, that's correct. This is the value of x. This is the value of f. So I'm going to multiply these two. 15 into 24, that is 360. 35 into 70, 2450. 50 into 88, that is 4400. 65 into 76 is 4940. And 85 into 42 is 3570. Now, applying the formula, sigma fx over sigma f. Sum of all the fx values over sum of all the frequencies. So this is 360 plus 2450 plus 4400 plus 4940 plus 3570. So it's a 4-mark question, which is ethnic working. You have to show some working, okay, like this, divided by the total of frequencies. So either you add them all up or you just write directly 300 steps. So this should be 52.4. Next, B part, frequency density. Histogram. See, they were asking about mean first. Now for the histogram part, I'm going to use the same information, but this time I'm not going to calculate the midpoint. I'm going to calculate the class width. Okay. So they are asking about the histogram. So I'm going to use class width. And when you use the class width, there is one more thing. You also figure out the frequency density. That is frequency over class width. Okay. So this information. Now, how do you figure that out? Using the above one. This table over here. Okay. So this table, I have to figure out the class width first. You can write the values quickly, okay, if you are confused about that. Class width is upper limit minus lower limit. So 30 minus 0, that is 30. 40 minus 30, that is 10. Okay. Then 20, then 10, and then 30 again. This is your class width. And in addition to that, we have to make the frequency density as well. The row for frequency density will be frequency over class width. So frequency 24 by 30, that should be 0.8. This should be 7. 88 by 20 is 4.4. 76, this should be 7.6. 42 divided by 30 is 1.4. Okay. So just remember, whenever we are dealing with a histogram, the width of the bar should be between the values of the class interval. Values of class interval. What is class interval? ये जो range की form में दी हुई है 30 and 0. And the height of the bar should be the value given for frequency density. Height of bar is the frequency density. So the width of the bar from 0 to 30 is from 0 to 30. This should be the width of the first bar. And what should be the height of that bar? It should be 0.8. Okay, so the first bar is 0.8 with a height and width is. So 0.8 is over here. You can shade it like this. Then for the second bar, it's already given to you 30 and 40, and the height is 7. So between 30 and 40, the height is 7. Then from 40 to 60, the width 40 to 60, the height should be 4.4. So 4.4. 40 and 60, the width of the bar, height of the bar is 4.4. Then 60 to 70, the width of the bar and height of the bar is 7.6. 60 to 70 and 7.6. 7.6. 60, 70. What's the same? Okay, 70 and 100. 70 and 100, we have the width of the bar and height of the bar is 1.4. 70 and 100 and 1.4. So you can shade the bars so that it become prominent enough for the examiner to check. Okay, like this. That's where it's spoken. Next, question number 19, complete the table of values for this. So we are just going to replace -3 instead of x. So the answer should be -8. Draw the graph for this from -3 to 3. This over here just means that for the value of x from -3 to 3. Okay. So -3 and -8. -3 and -8 over here. -2 and 6. -2 and 6. -1 and 8. 0 and 4. 1 and 0. 2 and 2. And 3 and 16. Always check your graph. If it's a cubic graph, you should be getting a wave like this. Kuch waves are banta hota hai, right? The wave can be like this, like this. So if it's like a wave, well and good. If it's not like a wave, then recheck your points. Jahan pe aapko issue nazar aa raha hai, try to check that. Okay? So moving from point to point. So curve lines. By drawing a suitable straight line on the grid, find the solution of the equation this. Okay. So I have to find out the solution of this. Again, using the information equation of graph. Equation of graph, the one you just plotted for, that was y is equal to x cube minus x, 5x plus 4. This is the equation of graph. Then we have equation of line. Equation of line. Equation of line is missing. Over here, I can't see any linear equation. Then we have comparison equation. Comparison equation. That is other than linear equation and can be slightly changed, can be completely changed from the equation of graph. So over here, this is the comparison equation. If we look at it, we have to look at the left-hand side of the comparison equation and the right-hand side of the equation of graph. And I have to make changes in the comparison equation. So looking at the first term, both are the same. Looking at the second term, both are the same. So I'm just going to write them as it is. X cube minus 5x. Looking at the last term, there is a difference over here and over here. So I have to make this minus 3 into a positive 4. How can I do that? If I, without changing the others, if I add 7 to it. Okay. So if I add 7 to it, it becomes a positive 4. So if I'm adding 7 to the left-hand side, I have to add it on the right-hand side. Now I can look that this is x cube minus 5x plus 4. So it's exactly the same as the equation of graph, and that was our goal. Now, if I replace it with y, because I can now, value of y and this over here is the same. So if I replace it, this should be y is equal to 7. And y is equal to 7 is the equation of line, which was missing. To find the solution, we draw this line, a horizontal line, y is equal to 7, onto the graph. And wherever the line is cutting the graph, that is our solution. So our solution lies at this point, minus 1.8. My solution lies over this point, negative 0.5. And over here, this should be 2.5. A range will be given to you people. Aapke paas range hogi. What is that range for this question? It will be negative 1.595 to negative 1.7. Another one, negative 0.8 to negative 0.5. Another one, 2.3 to 2.6. That's your range given to you. Question number 20. Are you people done with this? Question 20. Yes or no? No? Manu? I think you joined late, Manu Bishop.
Yes, yes.
And what happened to your paper? How was your paper?
Sir, अजीब सा था.
क्या Bishop?
Sir, honestly, I don't know कैसा हुआ.
You don't know how it was done.
Sir, मतलब आता भी था, like कुछ चीजें नहीं भी आती थी.
लेकिन ज्यादा आता था, ज्यादा नहीं आता.
Sir, पता नहीं, ऊपर से time, I don't know, I think कम था, paper lengthy था.
I told you P1 can be lengthy and you don't have a habit of rechecking, you know?
जी sir.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Just forget about that. What's done is done. Focus on P2 now, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, let's solve this one. Show that CD is equal to show that CD is equal to x minus 1. So I have to show that CD is equal to x minus 1. Where is CD? Here is CD. This one. They're saying show that it is equivalent to x minus 1. So obviously when we are dealing with rectangles and one is another within the other one. So this length over here and this length over here. If I subtract these two, I will end up with CD. CD is equal to. And I have to show it, right? So लिख के करना ये नहीं कहना कि it is this. लिख के करना. This should be 2x minus 3 minus x minus 2. Put a bracket over there. That is why they are telling you to show it. Because there is a chance of making a mistake with the sign negative x plus 2. So CD is x minus 1. That's your answer. The area of rectangle ABCD is 1/5 of the area of rectangle this. So they can give you a statement which we have seen in a lot of papers. They give you a statement like this. All you have to do is turn it into an equation. So जैसे उन्होंने लिखा है, just turn it into an equation. So area of rectangle ABCD is equal to 1/5 of area of rectangle EFG. Area of rectangle ABCD, that should be okay. We have to do the same thing over here as well. Okay, this full length is x plus 3 and this is x. So that makes this length as just 3. So I should write it as well over here. AD will be x plus 3 minus x. So this is 3. Length 3. So area of rectangle ABCD, that is x minus 1 times 3 is equal to 1/5 of area of rectangle this. That is x plus 3 times 2x minus 3. This should be 3x minus 3. The mensuration वाले questions के अंदर the biggest issue is that you struggle with algebra, because see, this was it. This was part of mensuration. You are done with it. And that wasn't that much difficult. Now the rearranging part is all algebra. All you have to do is algebra. So, expand these. We have 2x squared minus 3x plus 6x minus 9. Multiply the 5 over there. So this is 15x minus 15 is equal to 2x squared plus 3x minus 9. Now group everything on one side. So we have 2x squared plus 3x minus 15x. And this 15 will go on to the other side, becomes positive, is equal to 0. Now write it as it is. We have 2x squared minus 12x plus 6. Now, if I have to match it, I can match it by any means. Like we can multiply the whole equation by a certain number. We can divide the whole equation by a certain number. So in this case, I'm dividing the whole equation by a 2. So if I divide the whole equation by 2, it's x squared minus 6x plus, which it is. Next, use the quadratic formula to solve this. So even if you are unable to solve the previous one, don't leave this. It's a 3-mark question. So write the general form above this. This is the general form of quadratic equation, and you can match. The coefficient of x squared is 1. So here's 1. The coefficient of x is minus 6, so b is minus 6. And the constant is 3, so c is 3. I'm going to apply the formula, the quadratic formula. Minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac by 2. Okay. So use brackets. Minus 6 plus minus under root of b squared, which is minus 6 squared, minus 4 times a, which is in c, divided by 2 times 1. So show one more step. You solve within the root. Okay. Solve within the root. What do we get? 36 minus 12, we have 24. So plus 6 plus under root 24 over 2, or plus 6 minus under root 24 over 2. You will get 2 answers. The answer is given over here. And you have to abide by this 2 decimal places. Otherwise, it will be wrong. So the 2 decimal places is 5.45 and 0.5. Calculate the shaded area. Shaded area is a major part of the bigger rectangle, excluding the smaller. Okay, so shaded area is area of E. What is that? EFG, ED, DE, FG minus area of ABCD. So what do we get? That is x plus x. Let me copy this. Now I have to go back and forth. So this was the area of DEFG, and this was the area of ABCD. I just have to subtract it. This was given in expanded form to us. We already figured that out, expanded form. So rather than solving again and again, expanded form is already given to us. This will be 3x cubed, 3x minus 9 minus 3x plus 3. So we have 2x squared, and the 3x and 3x cancels out, and we have minus 6. So to figure out the shaded region, what should I use? Which value of x should I use? Yes? Anyone? Which value of x should I use? Ever?
Sir, 5.45.
Yes. Why is that so? Any reason? Can you see the value of x? For example, the length. This is x minus 2. This is x minus 1. Right?
Sir, so the value will not be negative.
Yes. Because the value of x minus 2, if I use this value of x, it becomes negative, the length cannot be negative. So I'm going to use this value, not this one. So 5.45 square minus 6. What do we have? Minus 2 minus 6. We have 53.4. That's the answer. Okay, question number 21. How many are left? We have 2 more questions. 3 more? Yes, 3 more. Okay. Give it a try, Vijay. Jaldi karo. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so let's start. We will read question number 21. The diagram shows a solid formed by joining a cone to a hemisphere. The diameter of the cone is 14 centimeters, and the diameter of the hemisphere is 14 centimeters. Okay, so both, yes, the diameter is the same. The radius is the same for both. The total height of the solid is 24 centimeters. Calculate the volume of the solid. So we need the volume of the solid. First, make an equation so that we know what is missing, right? Volume of the solid. What is this solid made of? This solid is made up of 2 things. One, a cone. The second, a hemisphere. So I have to add the volume of the cone to the volume of the hemisphere. Volume of the cone is given in the formula sheet as well, but volume of the hemisphere is not. So you can just divide that by 2. So 1 by 3 pi r square h plus 2 by 3 pi r cube. Now, r we can find if diameter is 14, radius is 7. And you have to figure out the other information as well. If the full length is 24, then I can say radius is any line from the center to the circumference. So this is also radius. And this is also radius. Okay. Radius, any line from the center to the circumference. That is why I told you people during the lecture as well that you have to rephrase the things you have learned. Not that radius is half of diameter, that is okay. But if you remember it like this, radius is any line from the center to the circumference, things get easier for you. Okay? So if we have 7 of this part, this 24 is 7 over here, then it must be how much? Over here, this should be 17. So the height of the cone is 17. Any line from the center to from the vertex to the base. So there you go. You have the information now. You just plug in the information. 1 by 3. Pi r is 7 square. Height is 17. Plus 2 by 3. Pi r is 7. So if you work it out, this should be 872.32 plus 2 times 5 times 7 cube divided by 3. 718.38. Now, if you can take as many decimal places during the working, 3, 4, right? Any. And the last answer you can write a rounded value, right? So you can write it like this. You can write it as 1591. That's your choice. Okay, next. Show that the total surface area of the solid is this. Total surface area. Let me bring that. The total surface area of the solid is 712 centimeters square. Correct to the nearest integer. Correct to the nearest. So we have to show this. Don't use this. Say, आपने इसको use नहीं करना. You can't use this. You have to show that your answer matches this. Okay. So total surface area. Manur, can you tell me what should be the total surface area of this shape?
712.
Which is not the value. Obviously, it's written 712, the answer. I'm saying
The surface area of the hemisphere and the cone.
Achha, should I write just surface area, total surface area of the cone? The total surface area of the cone or the curved surface area?
Curved surface area.
Yes. Right? What did I tell you? Imagine you have a paintbrush. Can you paint inside this shape? इस shape के inside पे paint कर सकते हो आप? If it's a solid.
No.
No. So outer part पे you can just paint the curved surface of this cone. You know? Yes or no?
Yes.
So you are just painting the curved surface area of the cone along with the curved surface area of the hemisphere. Right? Curved surface area of the cone, curved surface area of the hemisphere. So we have pi RL for the curved surface area of the cone plus the curved surface area of the hemisphere, which is 2 pi r square. Pi, radius 7, length. Is the length missing? You know? Yes. Is the slant height missing? Yes or no?
Yes.
So I can find, this is the slant height. I can find it using the given information which we have over here that we are dealing with. Let me draw it again. We are dealing with a right angle triangle like this. Let me take it out. Like this. A right angle triangle. The height is 17. The base is 7. We have to find this green part L. So the slant height will be L square is equal to 17 square plus 7 square. L is equal to under root of 17 square plus 7. $338. Under root of 338 is 18.385. Take as many decimal places as you can. So 18.385. This is the value of the slant. Plus 2 pi r square, which is 7. So whenever you write the statement first, yes, Eva, what you ask?
Sir, why won't we add the area of the circle in the total surface area?
Okay, good question. मुझे ये बताओ मुझे if we have a solid, for example, you are eating an ice cream, right? It's something like this, right? Right? Now
Yes.
imagine it's a model of ice cream, just a solid form of ice cream, right? And you have a paint brush. Can you paint the inner circle inside this shape? Can you paint that?
No.
So that's why surface area is the outer part of it. Got it? The one you
Okay.
can paint. So the curved surface area of the cone and the curved surface area of the hemisphere. Is that clear?
Yes.
So this should be 5 times 7 times 18.2 plus 2 pi to 49 is equal to 712.5. So to the nearest, correct to the nearest integer, we have 712. That was 4 to 712. Okay. Next, a smaller solid is mathematically similar to this solid. The total surface area of the smaller solid is this much. Calculate the total height of the smaller solid. So a smaller solid is mathematically similar to this solid. This solid over here. The total surface area of the smaller solid is this much. So we have the total surface area of this solid. Okay. The bigger one. And the smaller solid is this one. So I can say that the area of the bigger is 7112 and the area of the smaller one is 242. Now, if we are dealing with mathematically similar solids, we have a relation over here of areas. A1 over A2 is equal to L1 over L2 whole square. Now, you can use lengths, you can use heights corresponding sides, okay? Corresponding sides. Corresponding sides. So in this case, we have the heights, okay? We have the height of this 24 and they are asking for the height of the smaller one. So I can replace this L with H. Okay. So area of the smaller one divided by area of the bigger one is equal to height of the smaller one divided by height of the bigger one. So area of the smaller 242 divided by area of the bigger 7112 is equal to height of the smaller one, let's say that is HS, height of the bigger one 24 whole square. Work it out. Tell me the answer. The answer order. Yes. What is the answer?
13.99.
13.99, and we have 14 over here as well. So your answer should be between 13.99, 13.98 to 14. Okay, that's your answer. Next, question number 22. So we have this triangle over here. They are saying that the diagram shows a triangular field ABCD. It's a field. So all the points are on the ground ABCD, and you are looking from towards these points from above. Okay? That's why it's looking like this. Fencing is needed for the perimeter of the field. Fencing is sold in rolls of 20 meters, and calculate the number of rolls of fencing needed. So for this, I need to figure out first all the sides of this triangular field. Why? Because I have to figure out कि इसकी perimeter क्या होगी. What is the outer boundary of it? Perimeter, outer boundary. To figure out the outer boundary, I have this length, I need this AC. Right? So it's a non-right angle triangle, and we have two sides and an angle in between. So for this condition, we can apply cosine rule. Side angle side. Two sides and an angle in between. So AC squared is equal to the two other sides, 150 and 186, 187. Add them and square them. Minus 2 times the same two sides. Cos of the angle in between. So AC is equal to under root of. Now take as many decimal places as you can. We have 78 484 .4229. Okay. You can take 4 decimal places, 5 decimal places, just for accuracy of the answer. So if you take an under root of this under root answer, we have 280.15. Now 280.151. The perimeter will be, the perimeter is sum of all these sides. So we have 150 plus 187 plus 280.15. Okay. So the answer will be 617.15 meters. This is the perimeter, the outer boundary. So to cover the outer boundary, they are giving the rules for the fencing in length 20 meters. So that means to cover all this area, I have to figure out how many rows are required. So number of rows, if I divide this area by 20, I can figure out how many rows are required. 30.86. Now, obviously, nobody is going to sell a half road or a quarter, 3/4 of a road. So you have to get the upper side of this, right? So you have to round it up 31 rows to complete the fencing. If you buy 30 rolls, you will be short on some space, right? Not the whole area will be covered. So you have to round it up. 31. Calculate the shortest distance from B to AC. The shortest distance from B to AC, shortest distance is always the perpendicular distance from B to AC. Let's say this point is X. Let's say this point is X. Okay. So shortest distance is always the perpendicular distance. Perpendicular distance क्या होता है? Right below that point. B के बिल्कुल नीचे, it will make a 90 degrees angle. Right? So if that is the case, paste it over here. Yes. So if that is the case, I have to find this length over here. So how do we find this? We can find this if we have 112, okay. And if I can find one angle, because obviously we are dealing with a right angle triangle over here, BXC is a right angle triangle. So I need one angle to figure out the height of this. I'm focusing on this triangle, BXC, this right angle. So if I can find this length over here, so this angle over here, I can figure out the length BX. Okay. Now for this, how about I use sine rule? Why? We have one complete pair of opposite angle and side. So angle B is given and the opposite side AC is given. So complete pair is, the complete pair given over here is angle B and angle B 112 degrees and the opposite side AC, which is 280.15. This is the complete pair. Half pair will be this angle and the opposite side to that. So that angle and this side, 150 and this side. So we have half pair as BCA is not given, so we have to find it, and the opposite side 150. Now if I find this angle, I can use the trigonometric ratio sine cos tan to figure out the height of it. So let's do that. BCA sine rule apply whatever 150 is equal to sine of 112 divided by 280.15. So BCA will be sine inverse of all these. So 150 times sine 112 divided by 280.15. So what am I getting? BCA sine inverse of 0.49635. Okay. And then BCA is equal to sine inverse of that 29.76. So this angle over here, we just found out is 29.76. Okay. All I have to do is find this height over there. bx. Bx is required. The length for BC is given to us. That is 187. We have an angle now, so I can find that using trigonometric ratio sine, cos, tan. We can see that opposite is required and hypotenuse is given, right? Or in other words, perpendicular is required and hypotenuse is given. So opposite and hypotenuse, sine. I'll be using sine. 29.76 is equal to bx over 187. So bx is equal to 187 times sine 29.76, and the answer is 92.8. Yes, Amar, what are you saying? Yes, we can. This is why we are using it. Was that the question? Okay. Zara cycles a distance of 500 meters, direct to the nearest 5 meters. So we have question for accuracy. Bounds. So we have accuracy of 5 and error is 5 by 2, that is 2.5. Accuracy is whatever value, number or unit is given along with this word nearest. Okay. So the nearest second is 0.1. So that should be accuracy for the time is 0.1 seconds. So the error is this by 2, 0.05. Now they are saying calculate the lower bound of her average speed. The speed is distance over time. If we need the lower bound, the lowest possible value of speed, for that the denominator should be of lower bound and the denominator should be of higher bound, okay, to get the lowest possible value. So this will be the lower bound of distance. So 500 minus the L. Lower bound is original value minus error, and upper bound is original value plus error. So 500 minus 2.5, and the upper bound of time will be 24.7 plus 0.05. Divide them, you get the answer. It would be 20.8 meter per second. Okay, express as a single fraction in its simplest form. So as a single fraction in its simplest form, which should be expressed as the denominator should be common, 2x plus 1 and 4x minus 3. To make it like this, I have to multiply this with 4x minus 3. So I have to multiply the numerator with 4x minus 3. And the same goes over here. So I have to change this into a common denominator. I have to multiply both the numerator and denominator with 2x plus 1. So this becomes 5 times 4x minus 3 minus 2 times 2x plus 1. So this should be 20x minus 15 minus 4x minus 2 divided by 2x plus 1, 4x minus 3. Now, in its simplest form, you can leave it as a factorized, the denominator, or expand it. That's your choice. So we have 16x minus 17 over 2x plus 1, 4x minus 3. That's your answer. So don't leave such question easiest possible 3 marks, 4 mark questions. You can write it in as a factorized form, the denominator, or you can expand it. Both are acceptable. Okay? Both answers are acceptable. I should write the other one as well. That is 16x minus 17 over 8x squared minus 2x minus 3. Both are acceptable. Any questions? Yes, which any questions?
Sir, can you explain the previous question again?
Sure, why not? Which part?
Why did you not take a lower bound for both the distance and the time?
Okay. Yes. Tell me, if I want, for example, we have a fraction 4 and 2. The value will be
2.
2. What if I increase? If I want the answer to be the lowest possible answer, what do we get? Should I increase the numerator or decrease it?
Decrease it.
Okay, if I decrease it by 3 by 1, so I have 3 by 2. What answer do I get?
1.5.
Now, what if I increase the denominator as well? Will I get the lowest possible value? So I'm decreasing the numerator and increasing the denominator. What am I getting?
1.
So what is the case in which I get the lowest possible value?
Decreasing the denominator and decreasing the numerator and increasing the denominator.
Exactly. Got it? Right? Okay. Just for the sake of that, just remember, whenever you are dealing with upper and lower bounds, and you have to find the lower bound in which the formula we have division. Okay. So always select the lower bound for the numerator and the upper bound for denominator. But if we are dealing with, let's say, the question is saying upper bound of speed, then the highest possible value is achieved when the numerator will have upper bound and the denominator will have the lowest possible value, isn't it?
Yes.
Got it? So
Yes.
there are formulas. I will share it with you people in the group as well. Just do remind me when to apply what for upper and lower bounds. Okay. Okay, just remind me.